first day at PAX, so there'll be a lot to check out. We just saw, the boys at Mega 64, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. So let's go. So today I'm here with Joseph Hunter. He worked on Sucker for Love, the visual novel that everyone's playing right now. I keep seeing it everywhere on Twitter. So tell me about this game. From conception to release, what's the deal?
Right. So Sucker for Love started off as a game jam, actually, where we had to make a game that fit the theme of love crafting. So a game that had love mechanics, crafting mechanics, and Lovecraftian horror. And since I'm kind of a visual novel RPG developer, I didn't really have a good way of making a crafting, a true Minecraft crafting mechanic in 10 days for the jam. So I thought, well, what kind of game medium has items that you can create and then use, because it's kind of like crafting. And I said, dating sims do, which also has love mechanics. And so the only missing piece of the puzzle at that point was Lovecraftian horror. So I was like, all right, boom, it's a dating sim about Lovecraftian horrors. And when the Dread X2 collection came out, which is the name of the jam, Sucker for Love was kind of like a smash hit. People kept talking about it, people kept asking for more of it, and so the publisher, Dread XP, approached me to go and make a full title with 3 games total for it. And so Sucker for Love First Date, being the first name of the title, came out last January 22nd. We have the next game, which is a teaser, is playing on the TVs if you stick around for a little while. That is coming out probably sometime this winter, and the next title is to be announced, but that's the sort of flow chart from conception to where we're going.
And so now that the publisher came out and said, hey, we want the trilogy, did they send you anyone to help you with this, or are you running this solo?
So I'm doing most of this by myself. There are a lot of hands touching the project. I don't do any of the music. That is my composer, Extra Spicy. I don't do some of the art, and the backgrounds are mostly somebody else. And of course, I don't do any of the voice work myself. Those are people that I'm sure a lot of people have heard of, like Kaylee Mills, Michaela Laws, Lonnie Manila, and we have some more VAs coming in to join us for this second title too. But for the most part, be it the trailers, the art, the writing, it's mostly myself.
And do you know how the trilogy is going to end?
I do. I think the final game is going to be sort of a big send-off where I try to draw every single Lovecraftian god that he's ever talked about and include them in the game in sort of a everybody's here kind of finale. Well, right now we know for sure we have the Color Out of Space coming. We have Yig, Father of Serpents coming. And the people from the first couple of games, so Cthulhu, Aster, and Nyarlathotep are returning.
And so before you worked on this game, what were you doing?
So I was working on a different game called Chromatos, which is still in active development, but it is kind of similar, where it's like this RPG visual novel cross, where with light touches of horror in it. The horror is definitely much higher in Sucker for Love, but that is a RPG visual novel where 12 comatose strangers have all fallen into this collective nightmare and need to go back through their memories to undo the mistakes that put them in a coma in 12 hours where they never wake up.
Do you know what you're going to do after the trilogy?
Probably take a really awesome nap.
And what about unlikely inspirational sources?
Unlikely inspiration sources. So that's actually, I have to honestly say that's Lovecraft. It's not really a mystery that the dude had issues with minorities, and so being a black developer, kind of going through his lore for inspiration, is kind of an unlikely happening that I kind of have to sift through. Okay, it's okay, so this is a blatant metaphor for racism. This is blatant for I have to kind of go through everything and then say, okay, but what is the meat? What is the beans and grits of this horror without kind of being held back by the Lovecraft's sort of innate racism? It's just kind of interesting to me. It almost feels like, because he's supposed to be doing fear of the unknown, but when some of the monsters and some of the stories are just metaphors for the guy down the street, it kind of feels like it's almost holding him back sometimes. So the thing that is probably really interesting here is trying to take his inspirations and what his points were and reinterpreting it into something that just has more, or rather less, racism in it.
I never would have considered that as a source. That's actually really good. Is there anything here at PAX you cannot wait to play?
I really want to play River City Girls too. Interestingly, Kaylee Mills, who voices Esther from Sucker for Love First Date is one of the girls from River City Girls. So
Is she here today?
she's not here today, but she's just in both of our games. Yeah.
Well, thanks for your time.
I'm with Tomash and Clarissa, and you guys are founder of what game?
Begone Beast!
They're very vocal about it. So tell me a little bit about the game and how you guys got started.
Sure, so we're a husband and wife team. It's just the two of us. We started about a year ago working on this prototype, Begone Beast, based on us going to Halloween Horror Nights in Universal Studios.
Hold on, you just a year ago you put this together?
Yeah, we started a year ago.
Wow, that game looks amazing, by the way. I wanted to know from you guys, what were some of the challenges? Because you're by yourself, the two of you here. Usually you see a team of like 10 developers put together a mini game or that. So what were some of the challenges from the beginning?
Well, Clarissa's the programmer, and I think a big challenge for her is how much I change the design all the time.
Yeah.
That must have really annoyed you as a programmer.
Yeah, Tomash is, he's brilliant and indecisive, and I'm happy to work with him most of the time.
Okay, tell me about the game.
So it's a spooky cooperative top-down action game for 1 to 4 players. It's very much like Left 4 Dead meets Overcooked. So we love Left 4 Dead, but we wanted to make a version of it where you can experience the AI director, experience the co-op play, but with a little bit more accessibility, entry level, so you can play with more people.
So you said co-op play, how many people can play together?
About 1 to 4 players.
4 players, okay. And what platform can we see it on right now?
So we're actually still in prototype phase, but we're going to be releasing demos soon on Steam and possibly releasing within the next year or so on one other console with Steam. We're not sure which.
Xbox Game Pass. Not biased at all.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, if you sign up for our email list on begonebeast.com, you can join in for future playtests and give us feedback, which would be really awesome.
Yeah.
So begonebeast.com, go check it out. These guys are awesome, very enthusiastic. I love their game, and hopefully we get a chance to review that game when it's fully done.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you guys.
Alrighty.
Yay, thank you.
I don't even know what day it is. My legs are jello, my brain is melted, but I'm here with Harris.
Hi.
And we're going to talk about some cool stuff.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here on day 18, it feels like.
Day 37.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're here at the Finji booth, and I'm waking up, and I'm happy to talk about some of our awesome games.
Hell yeah, let's go. What do you got showing off today? You've got a couple, it looks like.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna go just like down the booth here. We've got I Was the Teenage Exocolonist. We put this one out last week. Super awesome narrative RPG, life sim, card collector, rogue. It's got so much stuff going on in it. All the good stuff. This was developed by Northway Games. The reviews are hitting for it, and it is like above and beyond expectations. We're getting so many like tins, and I'm like, tins don't grow on trees, so it's been great. And yeah, you play as a 10-year-old growing up on an alien planet all the way to 19 who starts getting premonitions of bad things happening on the planet, and before you know it, you die. But life loops back on itself. All the memories you have manifest as cards that go into your deck that you use to play a card game, and all within that is a dating experience, it's a stat building experience. If anyone knows the obscure princess maker, I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, this is for you. It's got 6 novels worth of writing in it by the wonderful Lindsay. And then shout out to Lindsay. And then yeah, developed by Sarah Northway at Northway Games. Awesome game. And it is out now on PC, Mac, Linux, PlayStation 4.
Linux?
I know. Don't say Finji didn't do nothing for you.
You can play it on Raspberry Pi.
I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, a good, really good one. Maybe.
PC, Mac, Linux, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Nintendo Switch.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay.
And then over here we have Tunic. Tunic we put out earlier this year. One of the best reviewed indie games of the year so far. All about secrets, small fox, big world, huge adventure.
Yeah.
All about discovering secrets. It's about, a lot of people like to look at it and say, was this inspired by Zelda, Hyper Light Drifter?
Yeah.
I would like to say, Andrew Schuldice, basically single developer who developed it, was more interested in making a game all about the childlike discovery of games. And yeah, that's all Tunic's about. If art styles are your thing, around the corner we've got Chicory: A Colorful Tale, which is the highest rated original game of 2021. And that's all about painting in a world devoid of color, so you are the artist in Chicory. We love that one. Next to that, Wilmot's Warehouse, wonderful sorting game. And then finally, Overland, which is a turn-based survival strategy game that we developed here internally.
So you're pretty busy this year.
Yes, yeah. So we have dotted those games, those released, all over the past few years. This is our first year where everything we've got on the show floor is stuff we've already put out, and we are stoked that people are still showing up for it.
Awesome.
So,
yeah. So I mean, I guess my one follow-up question was going to be, how's the pandemic been for game development? But apparently, you guys were just like, cool, we're not allowed outside, done. Let's make some sick-ass games.
Yeah, we all, have worked from home on these projects. Finji, up until very recently, was an entirely virtual company, with all of us working out of our homes. And then we got an office like 2 weeks before COVID hit. And then we could not work in it for a whole year. So
like, this will be really cool to hold all our stuff.
Yep. And it was just a room getting air conditioned for nobody. And so, but yeah, COVID didn't slow us down. Awesome. There were challenges, obviously. Absolutely. But we'd like to think that we stayed on track with COVID and put out some good stuff.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. And where can people find all your stuff?
Yeah, so you can find Finji on Twitter at FinjiCo. We also have an Instagram at FinjiCo and Finji.co for all of our stuff. Yeah, thanks so much.
Buddy.
Yeah, take care.